What impact are you missing out on because you don't see your value? Are you valueless or are you valuable? Let's find out more about that in this episode right now. A word that's coming up a lot in season 3, Britney, is impact.
Mm-hmm.
What are or were, they could be current or has happened in the past, the 3 most impactful moments in your life in the last 12 months?
Man. So grateful to get to even spend the amount of time that we do, and that's by design. I worked so many hours that other people weren't working for over a decade in order to be able to spend the time serving that I get to now. So I really want to encourage you guys, because it's amazingly fulfilling to be able to buy that time and not just wait till you retire to go do the projects or the service work that you want to do. But last year we got to go to Honduras, Haiti, St. Vincent, Louisiana, Kentucky, and Afghanistan, Ukraine. Now we're going to Ukraine. And this work was so amazing. But every single time I go in, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm undercover. Like I'm there to figure out how to solve these problems from happening. Because I guess when you see a baby innocently get crushed, and it didn't have to die, but it died because there's not a warning system, or the materials in the house were weak, or they couldn't get the response they needed, or a lot of things through technology or resources are solvable. They just haven't reached other places. And so I want to encourage those innovators out there, those people that have means. There's so much opportunity. And that's what we talk about when we speak on abundance is you can take these inventions other places and do really well in your business, but also save lives at the same time.
Sure.
So I'm there doing this service work, but I'm always thinking of how we can bring real solutions, long-term solutions to these areas. So I love that we've been able to deploy so many veterans and people with these incredible and capable hearts to these areas and literally save lives. There's over 500 people, I think, last year who would not be here if it wasn't for the work of Aerial Recovery Group. And so it's amazing that you can create that kind of impact, because that is somebody's mom, that's somebody's sister, it's somebody's child, and their life matters so much. But the other most impactful thing would be the work we get to do here on the island. Everybody that comes through this space finds what they need in life. And I like to say they experience a version of God. And so if it's healing you need in your body, you're going to get set on that path, and you're going to at least be served healing food while you're here. If you need to reconnect back to nature and get centered and find peace again, you're going to do that. If you need to elevate in your relationships, you're going to find that too. If you need to have a therapy session by engaging with our Redemption Ranch, it's really profound, the kind of impact that's happened. But to share with you guys, be willing to be weird.
Yep.
Be willing to implement different elements and strategies into your businesses that are coming from a space of being guided versus what everybody else has done and has proven to work. Because that's how innovation, that's how change happens, is somebody willing to implement these things that end up impacting others. What about you? What are your favorite impact elements last year?
So I was a part of many of those that you mentioned, especially specifically, a lot of the island events that we have, and there were so many. Again, last year was massively radical for me. Big one, birth of my firstborn son.
Yay!
Right, and I'll do a few. I'll do the ones that are personal, and the ones that I feel like I had an impact on others, but there were some that impacted me in huge ways. Number 2 was obviously my marriage, and number 3. This one was me going through probably 4 or 5 forgiveness workshops on this island, not wanting to forgive this person, but forgiving this person, which was my mother, for just feeling like she didn't love me and feeling like she chose someone else other than me, and just essentially not wanting to be around me, and forgiving all that and just letting that heal and letting that fully just dissolve away, and figuring out, you know what? I need to step up as a son. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not her. Maybe I need to let her see light and feel what love, actual love, looks like, rather than abandonment. Maybe it's me, not her.
Ooh.
So a big one was for me is I asked her, I called her on the phone, had a few conversations, and then she said, Mom, I want to buy you and create for you your dream house. Having this conversation with her, realizing that this was a dream that I had, but this is a dream that she had also had. She had never had a really nice home before, because you probably remember, like, we grew up in a single wide trailer treehouse that was 47% finished, right? There was some places didn't have walls, no electricity in most of the rooms. Some flooring was, sometimes the ceiling wasn't there. She'd never really had a solid, legit house before that was hers. She had lived in, trailers or just random places. Anyway, whatever. So she told me her dream house, and she told me where it was at. And I was like, done. And we started getting that. And through that act of, I guess, her and I communicating, that impact is amazing. What has allowed her to come into my life more, her to meet my son and to connect there. And she's starting to connect with my sister more. And I think that opened up a lot of different pathways. And so that was a big one, because, again, going back, a lot of people want to leave their friends and family to pursue greatness. And they go, oh, well, if they're not coming with me, I'm going to leave them. I've seen you do that too. You pull and you make sure that you're not going through this alone. I love seeing you with your family and with your friends and the people that were in your life years and years ago, decades ago, and you are still with them today. That was a massive impact for me. Other ones were creating Real Life Foundation, getting that up and running, getting that funded, having charitable events, every organization I go to, being able to easily raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for that foundation, where we pour into Operation Underground Railroad and Aerial Recovery Group, obviously, and Feed the Children, and many other amazing, incredible organizations and networks, and just using money as a force for good, using that impact and that currency as a fluid, transformational aspect of my life. And then the launching and the creation of Real Life Trading India, Real Life Trading Denmark, right? Having very, very specific, knowingly, really purposeful creations where I can see how large that can become. And you and I have talked about other countries that we're going to slowly build out, and just seeing this educational piece come together. Because, for me, one of my big dreams, one of my big whys, one of my big purposes is changing the educational system of America.
Right. Yeah.
And every time anyone outside of our intermediate circle, I tell that to, they're like, well, that's crazy. That's dumb. And you said, don't be afraid to be weird. So I wrote that one down.
Don't be afraid.
That sounds weird. That sounds like, oh, who, me? I'm going to do that? I can start to see it, though. You start getting enough chapters, enough organizations and meetups, and people in the right place, people who care, people who are crazy passionate and are focused and know an amazing skill that can really radically alter lives. Oh, it's just getting me so fired up. And being able to spend a lot of time with the Aerial Recovery Group and some of the phenomenal men and women on that team that you've developed, that you've built, and being a part of Jerremy's life, and just the individuals in the groups, and seeing that purpose that is given to veterans, where they can use their skill sets to be a measurable force for good.
Oh my gosh.
A force amplifier. I love it. I love being a part of this whole thing. This whole ecosystem is just wonderful.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite summits we had on the island it's called Heal the Heroes, where we had 20 something veterans out on the island, and all of them in some way were struggling with PTSD. And I learned so much, because what they trained so hard to have these excellent, high-level skills in when they get out of the Army, this vigilance, this, like all these things that they have great become labels for being messed up because they still are using these skills. And first of all, you have to be very careful who you ever let label you. And that is why some people should let not their family go in that you block them and you hate them or anything like that, but they don't get to speak into your life in certain places. Sometimes it's doctors that shouldn't be speaking in your life in certain places. You have to be very careful of the voices you build your future off of.
Yeah.
But I saw how some of the most skilled and gifted and qualified people in the world are labeled into a box, labeled into believing that they're messed up, when I am hearing all their skills and I'm like, hey, I need you. I need you to go out into these disaster zones. Like, there's so much good work needed that I don't want to have to pick. I just want to build these armies of people that want to give their gift to the world and let them go do it with a plan to, again, create hand-up opportunities or straight up rescue people that are praying and begging for somebody to help somebody to care. And so thinking through how we want to do our impact this year, it's looking back at, again, what worked really well, what had multiple levels of prizes. I like to call it, we called it double prizes before. So the veterans, it's how can we bring some of the most amazing people in the world into a space to get healed, to be able to then go save and or heal other places and nations. And we've actually done that with the ranch that's here. We have a ranch called Indy's Redemption Ranch. And
who's Indy?
I started that for my niece. She was born at 24 weeks old. She was a twin, and the little boy did not make it, which was very devastating for my family. And so I go up to her incubator. She's only 1 pound. And I start my negotiation. I said, listen here, kid. Your family is not going to do well if you don't pull through. And she was given less than a 20% chance to live. And I said, if you make it, I promise you I'll buy you all the ponies you could ever want. Oh. And I kept that promise.
You did.
And so we have a ranch full of what other people have thrown away. You know, their ponies are all from a meat truck that was headed to Mexico to be harvested for food. And then the horses are from the racetrack when these horses are no longer able to race for some reason. A lot of times they're just left to die and they're starved out. And then I have 4 zebras currently, which was kind of an accident.
A little bit. Yeah.
There are these terrible things called kill pens all across America, where if you don't want your horse anymore for any reason, they go to auction and then people buy them per pound for meat. And so they're kept at these kill pens before they're sent to either Mexico or Canada to be eaten, which is again where the ponies came from. But I was on one of these kill pen websites looking for rescue horses. And a freaking zebra was on there. I was like, what? This is a joke. Yeah. I'm still going to call anyway.
Yeah.
So not a joke. Apparently during COVID, all these zoos were shutting down and the people were either they're putting these animals down or selling them to these exotic game farms in Texas to be hunted. And so, yeah, that's how we have 4 zebras. They were all on a truck headed out there and were able to save their lives. And so
I hand-fed those zebras a few weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, they'll let you kiss them on the nose now, which is like a life accomplishment.
Incredible.
They were terrified. So we're taking what the world has thrown away and we're giving them new purpose. So now we have all these equine programs built out where we're using them for veterans. We're using them for people that have been trafficked. We're going to be the first program for kids with special needs in this region.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So there's so much about redemption. Where are you throwing yourself away? Where are you not seeing your value? Where are you not understanding that somebody in this category may have labeled you this way and told you to take pills because, you know, you may not have dealt with some things that you need to heal in? I'm not telling anybody not to take certain medication. I'm saying to search deeper. Are you masking problems, or are you not? Or, are you masking problems? Are you trying to truly be medicated to be healed? Like, is there healing you can go through? What is your gift? How can you get back out there? Most people are depressed because they're not living in purpose. Once you've surpassed all of your physical needs and you have way more than enough and you're not reaching back to help others, like, you're gonna feel sad.
Yeah. My friends listening, where are you not seeing your value? These animals essentially were thrown away. Not essentially. They were about to be murdered. They were going to be killed, and no one thought they had any value.
Mm-hmm.
Now, knowing that you are a human, since you are listening to this, you have massive value to someone. That person could be someone who just wants to listen to you, wants to hear your story, wants to be motivated by you, wants to be hugged by you, wants someone to listen to their story. You have value. You are worthy. You are amazing. You are incredible. You are powerful. You have capabilities. And we're going to continue to pull out those capabilities, to show you your value and to show you how you can align your body, mind, soul, and purpose with the value that you have inside of you.
Everybody has something. You have something you can give. It can be a hug. It can be that listening ear. It could be $1 billion. It's all different levels, but start giving your gift now. That's your challenge for today. We'll see you in the next episode.